Hello, Vermonters. I want to introduce you to our new donkeys that we have adopted. Do not be mean to them. Welcome the Democrats who have walked away to join Vermont Liberty Network. These donkeys are amongst many, and I want people who are traditionally viewed themselves as Democrats or liberal Vermonters who understand the importance of the Constitution and those erstwhile liberal ideas of tolerance and free speech would join Vermont Liberty Network, because we are not a one-party system. The Constitution is where the two parties and the two sides have always met to find common ground. And some are trying to take away that Constitution. And I'm very excited to share with you today just how stupid some of them can be. We're going to be talking about this at our events this weekend, tomorrow, the 15th at noon at the State House. At 11, we gather to support the police. At 3 o'clock, 802 Freedom, we'll have more speakers. But one thing I want to focus on is the effort to vaccinate you against your will, create a registry and pressure you and coerce you to get vaccinated. This is a disease that started out as flatten the curve. Then you were told wear a mask unless you didn't want to for reasons that you decided. Now we have people saying you must get vaccinated. It's unconstitutional and it's not based on science. Now, let me be clear here with YouTube and others. I am not contesting anything that the CDC is saying. In fact, I'm going to invoke the CDC's website, current as of yesterday, today, to show why they're lying about the facts. And then I will show you what the law is that applies to the facts as related by the CDC. It's very clear. This is, I'm an attorney. This is my area of training. But we have a lawyer who's a legislator, a senator named Dick McCormack, who just put out a letter showing exactly how really stupid he is, and he must think you're stupid too. My question isn't if Dick McCormack is a stupid traitor, because it's clear that he is. I'll show you. It's really kind of a gift. It really is a gift. We thank you, Mr. McCormack, for showing us just how ignorant people can be in our legislature and why it is we're rising up to take back our state from people that are not competent to lead us. The question is, Vermonters, are you stupid? He thinks you're stupid. Here's his letter, and his letter is called Legislative Report, Science, Liberty, and Nonsense. So he's going to say that he has good science, that those who claim liberty are fools and ignorant and have a right to die, and that he's the genius and that we're full of nonsense. Let me show you how much and how very many ways he's upside down. He writes, the Vermont legislature has only a few actual scientists, but the discussion of public health, including the matter of COVID vaccinations, is a scientific discussion. No, it isn't. It is impossible to have the discussion without looking at the Constitution. They don't want you to. Jacobson versus State of Massachusetts is the case on record, 1905. You can't give me a vaccination without demonstrating a compelling state interest. You have not. So he says this is a strange duty for citizens to invoke questions of liberty in response to the science. The science has never eclipsed the Constitution, nor does it now. This moron, though, sorry, he really is, thinks so, because he lies to you. That's why I'm calling you a moron, Senator. You have breached your duty to those you swore to represent. We are experts in listening to experts and asking questions. The COVID vaccination discussion benefits from very many reliable expert counsel that he says he's using. Now watch, he doesn't. He goes on to say, stubborn loyalty to any accepted theory, like he shows, perverts that theory into dogma, Mr. Dogma himself. And that is profoundly unscientific. Equating untested hypotheses with scientifically proven theory is pseudoscience. The most immediate problem with pseudoscience is the confusion about COVID. To the extent, here are the lies, to the extent we can know anything scientifically, we know that COVID vaccines are reasonably safe and safer than COVID. Not sure about that, but let's give him that one. We know they greatly lessen the odds of contracting COVID and or spreading it to others. No, we don't. That's a lie. You made up facts, not even pseudoscience. You just made it right up out of your little poop chute. And you went to law school? And then you go on and dismiss the 14th Amendment in the Constitution? I think you need to get a copy, Senator. We know that vaccination not only protects each individual patient, but lessens the spread of COVID among the population. No, we don't. Here's the CDC's website as of yesterday. Although COVID-19 vaccines are effective at keeping you from getting sick, scientists are still learning how well vaccines prevent you from spreading the virus that causes COVID-19 to others, even if you do not have symptoms. All right, Senator, please tell us where you got your facts that you're presenting as some kind of religious dogma, okay? And if it's not from the CDC, where did you get it from? If that's true, then we'll discuss it. But even if it were true, you don't have the right to compel others to get vaccinations when it could compromise their health for a disease that is relatively innocuous compared to smallpox, the Jacobson decision, or flu for that matter, especially for children. You would compel children to get vaccinated to go to school. Let's look at the facts, Senator, about the death rate for young children. And let's look at what's happening to people over the last year as schools have been shut down and facilities for those in recovery. So here he goes, not just equating untested hypotheses, but making up the entire science. And then he goes on to say, some folks make a libertarian anti-vaccination argument. Real freedom includes the right to be stupid, but my freedom ends where it interferes with your freedom, and yours ends where it interferes with mine. You do not, as an elected representative, have the freedom to lie to us about the facts and ignore our constitutional foundation. You, as a lawyer, should be held to a higher standard. You are a stain on the Vermont Law School because either you didn't learn the Constitution or you didn't learn about ethics. You're a liar, and you're trying to take away our liberties and calling us the Fruit Loops. You're the Fruit Loop dude. We're not stupid. You really are. Everyone needs to work together, he writes, as responsible, patriotic adults. Not being vaccinated risks prolonging the pandemic. Pseudoscience. Not only for the unvaccinated, but for everyone. Prolonging it long enough for the virus to evolve resistant variants. Is that science, doctor? No, it isn't. Actually, there's a lot of science suggesting that those who could develop the really toxic variants are those that get vaccinated, especially during an active pandemic. But, you know, we wouldn't want to have to chat about the facts because I'm talking about the law. And when we get to places, when we get together at our events, I'm just talking about the law. So on these facts, under our Constitution, the government has to demonstrate a compelling state interest to use the least restrictive means to impose these restraints on us. This is the 14th Amendment. I could read it to you, but I won't. And also it provides that you have to have due process provisions when you do. Where's the due process, Senator? What if a person wants to appeal because they have a pre-existing health condition that exposes them to risk from vaccination? What if they've already been sick? You would compel them to get vaccinated because what you say is this, and here is where the great tyranny, the great treason occurs. Vermont is unlikely to require vaccination, but we must not agree to the pseudo-libertarian argument, Mr. Pseudo, liar, that vaccination should not be a requirement for entering indoor public spaces using mass transit, school, camp, workplaces, etc. The right to not be vaccinated does not translate to a right to infect others or to prolong a pandemic. No, it doesn't. But there's no evidence that being vaccinated does do that. In fact, all the evidence is that once you get vaccinated, you can still transmit the disease. That makes you a risk. That makes you having a false sense of confidence in yourself. But moreover, you want to shut down workplaces and deprive children of school. And you want to keep it so we can't go buy groceries anymore. You want to kill us in the name of defending yourself from a disease that impacts fewer than 1% of people, and mostly people over 80. We should be protecting those people, not compelling children to get a vaccination, whether or not it's harmful, using all the CDC's evidence that nowhere near comes to the level of the constitutional standard. Senator, people should write to Senator McCormack. You're not fit to serve ice cream. You're certainly not, you'll never be fit to serve us. Have you been failing us and lying to us all these years? Oh, but he teaches rock and roll. Hey, maybe you should stick to that. You're unfit to serve, and you have impeached yourself. You have impeached your integrity, your credibility, even your competence mentally. And thank you for that, because Vermonters, read what he says, because they're all using the exact same lying, unconstitutional, thuggish, coercive, totalitarian rationale. That should make you concerned. No matter what COVID is, what's happening is something much more vicious and dangerous than this disease. It's an infection of our Constitution. Please come to our events and find out what the truth is so that you can be armed to not be lied to by those who are being paid to represent you, but they're betraying you. Senator McCormack is a stain on the Vermont legislature, and we have a lot more stains. Come to the events. We're going to spray this bloated tick on our state house and remind who works for who. We're not being ruled by you. We, the people, wish to be heard, and we will. Thank you all for listening and for meeting our new donkeys. God bless you.